kids. Really, really important that all of us, really important that all of us understand the gift of appreciation. That we all make sure we go home, tell mom and dad, thank you for the sacrifices that you make for each one of us to get to go to school that you come here to at St. Teresa's. Isn't it incredible whenever we get anxious, if something's tempting us, that we can pray to St. Michael and protect us? And we can do that whenever we decide because of what we're learning here, right? It's incredible, right? So it's important that we never, ever forget. And just think, we can be in the environment here where we talk about God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit, all in one. We never have to be alone. We never, ever have to be alone. We have lots of best friends, right? But just make sure that we spend enough time every day so Jesus is our best friend. As I always like to say, that we can partner with Jesus. He can help us with any math test, any kind of test you have to take. Jesus is there to help us. Today's really, really a big deal, and I'm really saying thank you. Thank you to everybody. And again, also, let's make sure we say, hi, Amy, how are you? That we say thank you to all of our teachers. And we need to say thank you to our teachers as well for their commitment. Sisters and our teachers. So what we're here about is a game changer. It's a big, big deal for all of us. Can't tell you. I get goosebump moments every day being your governor, but being here, this is my second time now at St. Teresa's. And just the extraordinary, Sister, God's grace emanating here, just absolutely incredible. I think that there's a couple things, and I'm going to ask for everybody to help me out a little bit. Last 4th of July was really, really a special day. A thing called the Big Beautiful Bill was passed. Okay, anybody know what the birthday for our signing of our Constitution, does anybody know how many years it was last July? What do you think? Do you know? Holy cow, you 8th graders, if you got a kindergartner or something. Anybody know what next July is? Yes. Next. What year? What year will be our birthday for the United? So July 4th. July 4th is next July 4th. What's going to be our number? 250th year celebration of the United States of America. Now that's a long time for any of us in this room to be thinking back, right? But this last year was a big year, July 4th, when the Big Beautiful Bill passed. It's really a big deal. It's the first ever tax credit for education scholarships. First ever, and it's $1,700 for people who will give a donation and get a scholarship. Does that make sense? So here's the easiest way, I think, for us to think about what's happening. Okay, mom and dad, all of us pay taxes to have government run. And whatever we pay tax on the money we make. Okay? Okay, that make sense? Okay? So if we what this says is if we write a check and donate $1,700 to a group that will help us with scholarship education, mom and dad will get a check back from the government. We'll get a credit back and decrease of what they pay taxes on. So it's a win-win all the way around for all of us in education. So gigantic. And this will start in 2027. And it creates an extraordinary opportunity for everybody in education and parents making the right choice. So by us the state of Nebraska opting in and taking advantage of us. It'll help us promote and administer these opportunities and making sure all families have access. I want to give a special shout out to Congressman Smith. He's put a lot of work in making this happen at the level in Washington with the big, beautiful bill. So with that, I'd like to introduce Congressman Smith. Let's give him a gigantic, gigantic St. Teresa.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor, and certainly thank you, Congressman Flood. This is his district, so I don't know why he's not going before I am, but anyway, I'm very grateful to be here, and especially when I can walk in and hear America the Beautiful in the background being sung by the July that families can benefit from across America. And the beauty of the school choice provision is that a scholarship granting organization formed at the local level will hopefully get the resources to wrap their arms basically around students' needs, families' needs. Now that could look like a school like this. It might look like wrapping their arms around the needs of a student, perhaps in the public school setting, but needs a little extra tutoring that is a significant cost to so many families. Or it could be other versions of education that are important to families and students. So I'm so grateful for the support of all of my colleagues, the President who signed the bill into law as well, that we can focus on the future for students and families, and actually kind of dial down the politics on education funding. Because this is really about students and families and ultimately engagement in the community. So I'm just so grateful that, like I said, my colleagues supported this idea, that ultimately the House and the Senate passed it and the President signed it. And then we're actually gathered here today because governors across America have to opt in to the participation for the state. So I was never really in doubt that our governor would opt in this case, but I'm grateful that we can celebrate an occasion like this. We know that a lot goes into your education, paying the teachers, keeping the lights on, cleaning the floors, and ultimately, though, bringing people together for the future of our country. So, Governor, thank you for opting in. Anxious to have a little ceremony here, and I look forward to the rest of the celebration. Thank you.
Thanks, Congressman. Thanks for all your hard work, Congressman Smith. And next, I'd like to introduce your congressman here in your district here in Lincoln, longtime friend of mine for more years than I want to acknowledge, but grateful for you saying yes, all that you do. Please give a great St. Teresa's welcome to Congressman Mike Flood.
So I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten to 16th grade. How about that? That's a lot of rosaries. That's a lot of sacraments, and it's great to be here in Lincoln today to see all these kids, and like these two behind us, when you were singing those patriotic songs, things like this remind me why public service in this environment is important, to be part of your celebration today. And I have to brag on Adrian Smith. Now, he lives basically in Wyoming. He lives in Scottsbluff, which is almost Wyoming. But of all the members in Congress, you know there are 435 members of Congress that come from all districts around the United States. When I talk about Congress, I'm just talking about the House of Representatives. And he sits on a committee that writes policies related to taxation. He himself, Adrian Smith, championed this provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill. He was the author, he was the inspirer, he was the one that went to bat inside the Ways and Means Committee to make this happen. I have known Adrian for a very long time, yes. I have known Adrian for a very long time. We served back in the legislature back in 2004. He started in 1998. This is something that he's always cared about. It's something that I care about. It's something that your governor cares about. And a great majority of Nebraskans care about this as well. And when I think about the impact of this bill, when I was in the legislature recently, we heard stories from parents. We have great schools in this state. We have great public schools, we have great special education services, and we have great schools like St. Teresa's. We have great schools like St. John's Lutheran in Battle Creek, where parents decide to sacrifice for their children. Where they say, you know what? We have great public school here. Uh-oh, is that a nuclear bomb? It's time to vote. No, where parents decide they're going to take some of their money and they're going to make it possible for you to be here. But what happens is not every family in Nebraska has that extra money. And those kids and those parents, they want to be here too. And so what Adrian's bill has done, what the governor's signature today is going to do, is going to let more of your friends and neighbors and their parents pick the school that they want to go to. And I would be remiss to say, if I didn't say this, there's also teachers in the audience. Your teachers sacrifice too to teach in this environment. They know that it's not always about the paycheck, but it's also about the impact of touching your hearts and turning you into Nebraskans someday. Some of you might be priests, some of you might be sisters, some of you might be monks, some of you will choose to get married. Whatever your vocation is, it will be grounded in what you see today. And so I want to thank these two gentlemen behind me. I want to thank the Diocese of Lincoln that has cultivated a vocational environment where we have priests and nuns teaching in our schools. You are really in one of the best places in America to go to a Catholic school. You are surrounded by people that have devoted their lives to Christ, whether they're married or in a vocation, and they are here, and you get to benefit. So with that, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for supporting private education today here in Lincoln.
Thank you, Mike. 16 years, you learned a couple things on the cross. Yeah, that's good. Notre Dame even. And maybe the other that is really, really important when we talk about vocations and we pray about who we're going to become when we grow up. Let's just take a minute to give an incredible thank you to all the sisters who have chosen the vocation and all of our priests to answer the calling to your life and all your sacrifices and all that you do. God bless you guys. Thank you. Let's give a shout out to the sisters. And next, obviously parents, pretty important, pretty extraordinary commitment. And I want to invite Sarah Shinstock up to be able to visit about what this means to her. Sarah, thank you. Thanks for all you do.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Sarah Shinstock. I would first like to start by thanking Governor Jim Pillen and Congressman Adrian Smith and Mike Flood, who are making school choice possible once again in our great state of Nebraska. Opting into this federal program will be transformative for my family and for countless families across our community and our state. I grew up here in Lincoln and attended St. Mary's School downtown. Although my family was not Catholic, my parents made the choice to send me to St. Mary's because they felt it was the right path. For me. My mother was an educator and had done lots of research to find the best tailored education for my needs, and I flourished at St. Mary's. Now, I am the parent. With my husband, Jeff, we are blessed with the tremendous responsibility of determining the best school for each of our 7 children. Our oldest daughter has a severe disability. We chose Lincoln Public Schools for her entire education since LPS received all the state and federal funding to meet her high needs. Our 6 other children attended parochial school. We chose the education provided here at St. Teresa's because our faith is woven into the fabric of our children's lives on a daily basis. They have a values-based curriculum in which they thrive and grow and discover and explore. And knowing our children's needs, we know this is the best school for their development. But we couldn't make this educational choice happen without scholarship assistance, which we are very thankful for. My husband, Jeff, earned his master's degree and works in ministry. It is a very fulfilling job, which he enjoys very, very, very much. It does not, however, pay great dividends. I am an educator by trade, but currently stay at home to raise my children and care for my disabled daughter. Because of these decisions that we have made for the good of our family and the size of our family, we qualify for scholarships. Opting into the federal school choice program will help us tremendously. It will provide more lasting scholarship money to aid us with tuition. And we will be empowered with the help we need to make the best educational decisions for our children. This is my story, but it's not so different from many families here in our neighborhood. I know a single mother who has made the choice to keep her children in a parochial school, but works 2 jobs to try and afford tuition. Working 2 jobs means she's away from her children when she shouldn't have to be. Additional scholarship assistance would help her to be more present and supportive of her children as a single mother, which we know strengthens educational outcomes for children. Another family in my community who are not native English speakers have both parents working full-time, and they still need financial assistance to choose an education they know is best for their children. While non-public schools work very hard to raise money for scholarships, the need for scholarship assistance is greater than the scholarships available. One more time, the need is greater than the scholarships available. This federal school choice program will help create more impactful scholarship opportunities for families across Nebraska, especially families who struggle to make ends meet, or families who never thought it would be possible to have different educational options. I'm confident that Governor Pillen's decision to opt into the federal school choice program will be transformative for our family and so many others. Thank you.
Well, I think that the message is loud and clear. This is a gigantic day, lots of work on lots of people's behalf to make sure that one thing we all agree on is you guys are our future, and we are never, ever going to give up on anybody. that so that your parents have the choice to be able to send you guys here to St. Teresa no matter what the set of circumstances that your family lives in. It's a big deal. So what's so exciting about this is there's no arguments. It was stated. We have to have great public schools. We have to have great St. Teresa's. And because of this legislation, both can win. So we're going to be able to do something that even the teachers union is going to support, for crying out loud. That they're going to support school choice and funding from the federal government to help all kids no matter where they are. It's really, really a big deal. And so let's do a little math for a minute to just think about the impact in the state of Nebraska. We worked really, really hard to get Opportunity Scholarship, which was $10 million, and then we had to fight with the teachers union and lost that battle for the short term. That was $10 million. So think about this math. We have 1 million taxpayers in the state of Nebraska. 1 million, okay? 1% of 1 million is how much, 8th graders, anybody? What's 1% of 1 million? 10,000, okay, so be with me. So 10,000. So if we get 10,000, 1% of the Nebraska population that pays taxes participate, that's $17 million of scholarship aid for students across the state of Nebraska. That's just 1%. 17 million. 2% is how much? Anybody? Take a risk. What do you? A little more. Try it. What's 2 times? Yeah, what do you say? 34 million. 34 million. If we just get 5 times 17, somebody's got it, 80.
This is getting too hard.
85. 85 million. Let's maybe keep it simple. If just 10%, Nebraskans are givers, it's $170 million. So that's what we're all going to work really hard on in the next year and a half. Get Nebraskans all in the game. We're all about our kids. This is getting more than our fair share of federal dollars back to Nebraska to help us educate our children. I can't give enough kudos out to Congressman Smith and Congressman Flood for their work in creating this federal school choice tax credit. And let me just make it really clear, you guys, I am not opting this in. I am cannonballing it in to the state of Nebraska. So it's time to sign this into law for the state of Nebraska. Can anybody give me help? All right. Sister?
Executive order for the federal scholarship tax credit. Whereas H.R. 1, also known as One Big Beautiful Bill, was signed by President Trump on July 4th, 2025, and created a provision that allows states to opt into a federal tax scholarship credit. And whereas Nebraska does not currently have a program to support educational choice for children and parents to attend a school that best meets the needs of the individual student. And whereas LB 753 and 1402 were signed into law and created a similar tax credit programs at the state level for everyday Nebraskans, the teachers union stole these opportunities for students in poverty to receive educational opportunities. And whereas every Nebraska child should have the opportunity to access the education that works best for them, regardless of zip code or financial limitations. And whereas the federal scholarship tax credit program will have zero impact on our state's budget, and whereas Nebraska taxpayers can receive a dollar-for-dollar tax credit of up to a maximum of $1,700 of federal tax liability. And whereas Nebraska students' success is important no matter if they attend a public or private school in Nebraska, we all believe that education is important. We must rise all boats for our students to succeed.
Thank you, sister. So now therefore be, I, Jim Pillen, Governor of the extraordinary state of Nebraska, under and pursuant to the authority vested in me by the vested in the governor by the constitutional laws of the state of Nebraska, do hereby order and direct that the fullest extent permitted by law to state agencies to ensure all processes are put in place for this new federal scholarship tax credit to be implemented and be available for Nebraska taxpayers on January 1st, 2027. In witness therefore under I set my hand and cause the seal of state of Nebraska to be effected on this day, 29th day of September, 2025. I was so nervous my hand was shaking, but can you read my autograph? I think only by God's grace. All right, well, what an awesome day. I hope you guys, this will be a day that you'll never forget, because we are one of only 2 states in the United States or Nebraska that does not have a strong, vibrant school choice. Federal government helping the way, and if I have the privilege to serve for 5 more years, we are going to work our tails off to make sure your parents can make the decisions that's best for your families here in Nebraska. You can bet